Tonight, there is disagreement about Secretary Clinton's accomplishments at state, but no dispute about her superhuman travel schedule, nearly 1 million miles.
I have come to Alexandria, to Afghanistan, Beijing, Malawi, Burma, Cairo.
112 countries, the most of any secretary, she says, trying to restore relationships, build coalitions, and weigh in on the importance of human rights.
We urge China to protect the rights of...
Yet she writes that once again, media coverage was mostly about how she looked. She laughs, saying someone suggested she call her book The Scrunchy Chronicles. 112 countries, and it's still all about my hair.
You know, toward the end of my time as Secretary of State, I was so tired of getting my hair done every day in all kinds of places around the world, often with people whose language I didn't speak and they didn't speak mine. I just said, I'm going to let it grow. I'm just going to pull it back. Thank God for scrunchies. I mean, I really was just not going to keep doing it.
It was such an issue, foreign leaders tried to decode what her hairstyles meant. One saying, if it's pulled back, get ready for bad news. Only over time did she seem to override a lot of the distraction, owning her reputation as a kind of global bulldog in pantsuits. This picture of Hillary Clinton texting became an international phenomenon, everyone writing their own versions of what she might be saying. Obama, hey Hill, what you doing? Hillary, running the world. And her book tells how she began to forge a bond with her former rival, the president. After the distance, the wariness, a friendship. It began in Copenhagen when the two of them decided to party crash a secret meeting by the Chinese, trying to hide from decisions on global warming.
The president and I looked at each other and, are you thinking what I'm thinking? And off we go.
Your excellent adventure.
Oh, we had an excellent adventure, and we found them. We go up the staircase, and the Chinese security were there, and they tried to prevent us from getting in.
Please, hold on. Okay. Please.
You know, the president got in, I ducked in, and the president goes, we've been looking for you.
They got a deal with the Chinese, but even she says, far from perfect. She also describes what she says was her proudest moment as secretary with the president, the decision to go in and get Osama bin Laden. The Secretary of Defense initially opposed the plan. The vice president opposed it. She was one of those who told Obama to go ahead, to do it. And she finally talks about what she was thinking in this famous photo, watching the raid from a transmission as it went down.
My heart was in my throat, because we were watching on the video screen what was happening. And we saw one of the helicopters' tail clip the wall as it tried to get into the compound.
This is video from the scene of that chopper set on fire by the SEAL team, forced to leave it behind. The operation only became public after Osama bin Laden was killed.
You really didn't tell President Clinton about Osama bin Laden?
No. I mean, I take very seriously the obligations of secrecy.
But didn't he say, you could have told me?
Well, no, because he understood. And when President Obama called to tell him, I think the president started by saying something, well, I assume Hillary's told you. And he goes, told me what? You know.
But even as Clinton promotes a book about hard choices and what she lists as her achievements around the world, critics say, just look at the reality of the globe tonight. In Iraq, nearly 800 died last month. In Syria, more than 150,000 dead, and the leader Assad digging in. So the question, what was permanent? What did she get done?
Look tonight at Syria. 800,000 refugees when you left. Assad is retrenching. In Iraq, as we know, Al-Qaeda is hoisting flags.
Let's talk about what was accomplished, and then let's talk about the continuing threats. Tough sanctions on Iran that got them to the negotiating table. Now, whether we get an agreement or not, I hope we will.
You doubt it?
I think it's going to be very difficult, but it's a lot better than what we inherited, where there was no international consensus and Iran was just, pursuing its nuclear ambitions, including building underground facilities. So are there still terrible things going on in the world? Yes, there are. I think there is no perfect outcome. It's a constant effort that we're all engaged in.
Like the ongoing chess game with Vladimir Putin.
We want to reset our relationship.
Before Putin returned to office, Clinton showed up in Russia hoping to reset the relationship there. Though in fact, the word on her joke button was wrong.
We worked hard to get the right Russian word. Do you think we got it?
You get it wrong.
I got it wrong.
The word her staff used by mistake was overcharged. And as we all know tonight, Vladimir Putin is on the move and has annexed Crimea.
Did you misread Vladimir Putin? Will he ever give Crimea back?
Well, I think that depends on whether he's made to pay a price for...
You think we should make him give it back?
I don't think we are in a position to advocate making him through military action, but I'm a strong supporter of tough sanctions that create an economic cost for Russia and for him personally and his cronies.
Just a few days ago, Putin derided Clinton for criticizing him.
Vladimir Putin said in a French television interview, "It is better not to argue with women."
He added,
Weakness is not the worst quality for a woman.
Well, I saw that, and he's not the first male leader who's made a sexist comment like that. He and I frankly disagree, and we have done so publicly.
When people say, where is the marquee achievement? No sweeping agreements, no signature doctrine.
We haven't had a doctrine since containment worked with the Soviet Union, but we've had presidents who've made some tough calls, some hard choices, some of which have worked and some of which have not.
Which brings us to Benghazi, an event that has been used to question her leadership ability and could affect her prospects for the presidency. It begins in 2011. She supported overturning the Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi. It was even called Hillary's War as she built the coalition to get him out and celebrated at the moment he was captured and died.
We came, we saw, he died.
But even as a lot of the Libyan people were cheering the Americans, did she miss the danger signs? A lethal force about to strike.